Good day, and thank you for joining me for another period of 5 minute Bible time. I hope these videos are definitely helping you along with your Bible studies, if not at least to provide you with a bit more additional information to the things that you are studying in the Bible. Today we'll be looking at the book of First Kings, and as always, we're giving a general overview. We're not trying to get too specific because we cannot fit all of that in 5 minutes. So just remember, I like to keep reminding of this, that we are following the seed line all the way from Genesis, and we're basically looking at God's plan unfolding up till a point where Jesus comes in the New Testament books. So First Kings, we were coming from Second Samuel. At the end of Second Samuel, um, the reign of David is coming to an end. So in the first book of Kings, basically the first few chapters, we see kind of a wrap up on the reign of David, and then Solomon comes into power. So I've kind of divided the book into two major parts. Chapters 1 through 11 is the kingdom of Israel under Solomon, factoring in those chapters where David is kind of going out. But at the second part of that, or the second section, from chapter 12 till the end, we have the division of the kingdom. And from there we start seeing the different kings in each half of Israel. So this is kind of a fitting name for the book, Kings, because we have so many kings who come and go in between. So maybe a few notable chapters. We've already mentioned Solomon coming into power. The first, that's about the first chapter of the book. And then about chapter 3, Solomon makes a request for wisdom to God, and it is granted. So we see Solomon become the wisest man on the earth. Chapter 12 shows us the reason for the division of the northern and southern parts of Israel. So we see the division of the kingdom into two parts, and this was already also foretold by God that this thing would happen. In fact, if you read that 12th chapter of First Kings, it does tell us this was of God. And then the rest of the book, we are looking at the different kings, some in Judah and some in Israel. So a good summary of the book, it is really, we're looking at Israel under kings who are human kings, since they wanted to become like other nations. And a good summary for it would be the kingdom of Israel under the leadership of Solomon, and then Israel as a divided nation. So we can apply both those two. The first half is Israel under the reign of Solomon, and the second half is Israel as a divided nation. I think that would be a pretty good summary of the book, and I definitely hope that allows for you to be able to gain more out of reading the book, because with an overview like that, you'll be able to focus more and pick out more things. So yeah, I'd say that's a good way to apply that division, especially also to make the division at chapter 12. That is where things just suddenly change. Things really change, in that we have those two halves now of the kingdom. So yeah, that is basically First Kings in a nutshell, or at least I tried to put it in a nutshell. If you have any questions or anything you might like to know further than this, please put it in the comments. And yeah, you can share this with anybody who you know who may need it, or just for your own studies. But I definitely hope these things are helping you. Thank you for joining me for the session of 5 minute Bible time. Enjoy your Bible studies.